Happy Friday, newsies! It is I, Becca Lori Hector, your host of Neurodiversity Newsstand. And here we are on the 17th of January doing the next installment of Neurodiversity Newsstand. How was your week this week, newsies? My week was interesting. If you watched last week at all, and you caught the ending closure of last week, I was saying that I was leaving to go and oh, look at that. I was leaving to go and check out some barn cats. So what? And then a bunch of you, after that was over, left me comments asking for an update on what had gone on. Right. Okay. So update on these cats. So the story is that one of our neighbors, not super close neighbors, but one of our neighbors in our town, unfortunately passed away, and she had a bunch of animals, and we had to kind of look for homes for these animals. And so one of the sets of animals that she had that the family was looking to rehome were a set of 4 barn cats. Now, if you don't live in the country, and you may more commonly know barn cats as feral cats. They're not quite the same thing. So a feral cat really isn't dependent on human beings for anything at all, and they aren't socialized with humans and not domesticated in the least. But a barn cat is somewhere in between a feral cat and a domesticated cat. So they're not very friendly. They aren't necessarily socialized, but they have a job, and they keep kind of the rodents down on a property or in a barn, right? And so they have kind of a job. And so that was the deal with these 4 cats. They were outdoor cats. They were being fed and taken care of by this woman. And now they were homeless. And the thing with barn cats and other cats is that once they come to depend upon human beings, of course, we don't want to just throw them out into the universe and see if they survive. So it was interesting because I'm really sort of cat tapped out. I mean, I have 6 cats inside right now, and those are my babies, and I love them to death, but I couldn't imagine trying to, in an emergency scenario, rehome 4 cats that were never going to snuggle anybody, that were never going to want to be held or kind of loved on, none of that stuff. And Antonio and I had been talking about barn cat for a little bit, and then this situation came up, and it was an opportunity to help. And it was a mother and her 3 kittens that had grown up together, so they had never been separated, and that was another problem. So we decided we would take them, except then we had to catch them. So I spent this whole week, sorry for all that, I spent this whole week with Antonio going back and forth to this house trying to catch these cats that were essentially feral and wanted nothing to do with human beings. So as of yesterday, all 4 of the barn cats have now been relocated and rehomed to my house. They have an indoor area that they're able to get to that's part of our crawl space, and it's heated and warm for them. And then they'll be able to come and go as they please and, go on about their lives. And at least they didn't get separated. But they were angry. There were injuries. I don't know, you can probably not even see it, barely. It's still healing. But one of them got me on the very first day when we weren't sure how feral they were. Yeah, they're pretty feral. So it was an interesting week trying to organize with the very NT people who owned the cats before me, and trying to just coordinate getting these cats and getting them to understand kind of how cats function and how the best way would be to catch them and that kind of thing. So it was an interesting week, and I'm very glad that it's over. Some injuries were sustained, but I must tell you, these angry cats are now here at my house and safe and have a home, though they'll never be my friends. It's painful. I took a picture of the last angry cat because the other ones I couldn't even get a picture of. They were insane. And I'm going to, very low tech. You can't really see his angry face. Okay, it doesn't really work. Well, he's got a very angry face in there. Very, very angry cat face. And he was the last. He was the most stubborn. And so now they are all in our crawl space, and we are going to change their names. They currently have names that we don't really like. They obviously don't respond to them, so that's what's up next. And we are thinking a Brooklyn Nine-Nine crew is probably right up the alley for them. That's what I had going on this week. Other than that, I did go and get my tattoo touched up, and I'm wearing a hoodie today, so I can't show it to you right now. Besides, it's all bandaged and all kinds of fun stuff. But I wanted to touch up, and I finally got myself organized a year later to go back and get the touch-ups done on my tattoo, which I did. I'll show it to you guys next week. But other than that, my week was filled with capturing these barn cats for the most part. So that is the barn cat update. I will let you know when we've officially named them and all that kind of fun stuff, and where that goes. I guess you'll get barn cat and hair updates, which is very dirty looking today. I'm sorry about that, but I just didn't have the patience to shower today. It's really snowy and cold out, and I don't like to be cold after a shower. Anyway, so on we go, shall we, to the news. It is news time on Newsstand, so we go. Notebook. Nothing spectacular this week, nothing life-changing, nothing kind of that should stop the world, and we should talk about it this week in the news for us in neurodiversity, but some good things. Lots of good blogs still coming out of our fellow autistics, which I love. But we'll start off with some regular news. Very employment-heavy news week this week. Lots of really good stuff. This one came out of the Society of Human Resources Management, accepting autism, how some companies are developing a new talent pool. And what they're talking about is the new HR trend of hiring neurodiverse individuals and gearing a campaign directly towards those individuals. And some of the stuff they were talking in there, they talked a lot about the companies that are doing hiring initiatives. So if you're looking for work, there are some companies listed in this article that would be interesting to go ahead and take a look at. Also, interesting in there was that they talked about how, and I talk about this often, so you can know, I'm always on the nose with this stuff. The HR trend is now talking about how, because autism has been in the mainstream media so much this year, they've seen an even bigger push towards this trend. So, for example, having Julia and having Greta and having The Good Doctor and Atypical and all of these other successful mainstream TV shows, etc., and people that are out in the mainstream is working. It's breaking down the stigma, and it's creating more education and more kind of desire to include us in the planet, which is lovely. So that was, there we go, for Society of Human Resources Management. Didn't know they existed. Now I do. Next up, came out of Las Vegas Sun, doing an article called Autistic Employees Gain Experience at the Las Vegas Subway Shops. This was a great article about how about sort of a hiring initiative that's happening within the Subway stores in Las Vegas, which are primarily owned by the same person. And this person is doing an autism hiring initiative, giving people a chance to come in, try a job out at a very low level, and if they like it and they stay, learning to do other jobs on top of it. Really great opportunity for a lot of folks. And what else? I guess that's it. That's really all the story had to say. You can read a little bit more into it, get some more details about who the shop owner is, where exactly the stores are, and what kind of jobs they're offering if you take a read of that article, which, like all the other articles I'll talk about today, will be in the description of this video. All right, on to the next we go. Oh, this was a good one, you guys. I had to stick it in there because a lot of us laughed a lot, but here's the sad fact, is that this is an article that came out, okay? 46% of Americans are unsure if vaccines cause autism. They don't. It's in the title. They said they don't in the title, you guys. We can't. How many more stories can people waste their energy and their spoons writing to talk about how there is no link between autism and vaccines? There just isn't. So stop being unsure, 46% of you Americans. You don't need to be unsure. Fact is fact. It was very funny, though, that this should even come out because, funny. I have to laugh at us as Americans. I do. I laugh at us often and well. So that came out, and that was, by the way, it was a Gallup poll, which is really just a sad statement on what's going on here. Read the news, people. Read the news. Okay. On from the news, I'm going to take you to some of my favorite blogs, some of our favorite blogs from this week, the ones that we thought were exciting and drew the most attention. And the first one came out of the Aspergian by Lady Snessa. It was called Unemployable Part 1. There is a Part 2 coming. It sort of leaves you with a to be continued, but it's a beginning discussion about an autistic woman ending her time with career counselors and why and what that's about. So she talks a lot about the discrimination issues that we find as autistic, as well as the general lack of understanding and trust in the autistic experience. So really good piece. We all liked it, saw it shared a whole lot. I hope you're feeling the love, lady, because it's coming to you. It was a really good piece. Everybody enjoyed it. I personally am looking forward to Part 2. So you can check that one out on the Aspergian. Next up, we have a blog on LinkedIn by the Autistic Wolf, Tacy Traverso. So you may know her on Facebook as the Autistic Wolf. On LinkedIn, she goes by her name, which is Tacy Traverso. She's the one who does hashtag Autistic Gold and all of that fun stuff. This piece was a great piece that she wrote on LinkedIn to share her story of sort of getting diagnosed while staying employed and what that journey was like through her employment cycle and what that part of it was like. I think she writes amazing. I think she's talking about great stuff. I love her attitude. I love everything about it. So if you have some time and a few minutes that you don't mind spending reading Tacy's piece, I think it would be fantastic. Okie dokie, on we go. Next blog. Chris Bonello, Autistic Not Weird, not a blog, a meme that I am sharing with you. So it's been a while since Chris has drawn us something, but he did a meme for us this week, and as usual, he is on the nose, talking about how professionals treat children one way and treat autistic children another way. Not surprising, not shocking, but Chris always has a way of putting the perfect fine point on it. So that one went around a whole bunch this week. Again, Chris, I hope you're feeling the love from the community on that one. I saw it shared a whole bunch. I loved it, so I will share it with you guys. Onward. This is an interesting one. I've never shared anything like this, so we'll see how it goes. This was sort of as a Twitter feed, a big long Twitter feed by Finn Gardner, who I happen to think is a fantastic researcher. He's an autistic researcher. He does some really good social political stuff that he writes about, but fantastic. In any case, he decided he did a big long Twitter feed discussing first person language versus identity first language. Person first language and identity first language. And so why it's so important to so many of us that we do identity first language, and why it is that the non-autistic part of the world feels the need to correct us all the time. And so that's what he writes about in here and what he's talking about. I thought it was so interesting that it was interesting enough to all of us that it got shared from Twitter onto Facebook, and then I shared it over on LinkedIn. So it's getting all over the place, Finn. I hope you feel that love. Next up, I just want to draw some attention to Aspie with Attitude, the YouTube channel of Aspie with Attitude. He's been working real hard this year so far already. I think this is his 4th video already this year. So I know he posts a bunch in our group, and I know that we on and off all of us like and like it, and I think the cumulative effort of all of those videos, you get a shout out from me today for Aspie with Attitude on YouTube. I will go ahead and link the channel in my description. He is up to his episode 94, so you definitely have plenty to go back and catch up on too. Lastly, I'm going to just take a minute and remind you that of the AANE Neurodiverse Couples Conference that is coming up in February. It's February 22nd of 2020. It'll be in the Boston area. David and Kristen Finch will be speaking. David is the author of a book about marriage and being autistic and what it's done with their marriage. And that, I believe, is what they'll talk about, how they've continued to work with the diagnosis. And build their life. So they're amazing. They're super fun. David will always give you a laugh. Kristen is as authentic as it comes. Really good people. So if you are in the Boston area and you want a good day and you're interested in neurodiverse couples, please take a moment and go ahead and hang out with AANE and David and Kristen Finch. That's all I have for you guys this week. I feel a little bit like I rushed through, but at the same time, not really. I think I gave you some really good information, some good articles and that kind of stuff. But I am sort of headachy, so I might have rushed a little bit. It's been snowing on and off all day, and that kind of itches on my migraine sometimes. So I think I'm like pre-feeling one, and I'm getting the tired that comes with that. So with my last spoon, I give you Neurodiversity Newsstand. Imagine if it was that dramatic. No, but I am running low on spoons, so I am going to get going. But before I go, I want to take a moment and go ahead and remind you that if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe now. And make sure you hit the notification bell, because though I do these every Friday, I don't drop them at the same time every Friday. So if you want to know when it comes out, you gotta hit the bell. This channel is, and this particular series on this channel is based off of my Facebook and LinkedIn groups called Neurodiversity Newsstand, where we very calmly and like adults share the news and discuss the news with each other, as well as sharing our blogs and other stuff that's going on. So if you're interested in what you're watching here and you want more of it, you can head over to the groups, which will be linked in the description, and you can go ahead and join them, either on every platform or just the one of your liking. And that's about it. Oh, and I am so close, you guys. Again, the weekly challenge is on. Again, another week with 9 thumbs up, 9 of them. I just want 10. Just give me the double digits. I just want 10 thumbs up. But thank you to the new subscribers that are coming in. Thank you for those of you who do give me thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing and you want more of it, please give me a thumbs up. If you don't, please give me a thumbs down and let me know in the comments what you think I'm missing. If there's stuff you want me to share on Neurodiversity Newsstand, join the groups, share it there. If it's super popular in our groups, it gets onto Newsstand that week. And I guess that's about it. I've been thinking about a little secret project, and the secret project is for those of you that watch my videos religiously or regularly, whatever you want to call it, and those of you that watch them to the end, because if you watch it to the end, I appreciate it. And I've been toying around with the idea of doing a very, a very casual, very loose kind of true diary vlog, like once a week, maybe on a Wednesday or something like that, and just putting it out here on YouTube, just for my YouTube subscribers, just for those of you who really follow my videos. If you wanted a little more of some of the stuff that I talk about, and also how I'm walking through the pieces of my life and using the tools that I always share with you guys. But I need to know if you're interested. So I don't want to spend more time making more videos if you guys are like, nah, Newsstand's enough for me. So to the 184 of you who are subscribed to my channel, and to the regular 9 who give me the thumbs up, and those of you who comment, let me know if you'd like another video during the week. Just kind of about just us chit-chatting about life and what's going on for me, and kind of more of the stuff that I do at the beginning of Newsstand. But that's it for me this week. I am going to go take this weekend, and I am going to relax, because I have a bunch of writing to do, and if I am relaxed, I do the best writing possible. So yay. All right, well, you guys have an amazing weekend. Go do something fun. Tell me in the comments what you did. Tell me in the comments what you wish you did. Tell me in the comments if you want to know what I did. But until then, I will see you next Friday. I'm Baccalaureate Hector. This is Neurodiversity Newsstand, and I will see you next Friday for the next installment. Happy Friday, guys.